When we're talking about this modern era now, what new challenges need to address? Do you need to address that are different in terms of access, data, and identity that perhaps are different than things you might have had to think about a couple years back?
No, absolutely. I think the one way to look at it is when you're operating in the cloud, it's not just your solution that's operating in the cloud. You're depending on so many different supply chain, SaaS, APIs, and all the connectivity between them, whether it's through your suppliers, the data you're sharing with your company and others, to really enable that rapid response and scalable infrastructure that you rely on through the cloud services. So the challenge really is understanding where and how things are moving within that ecosystem, and also be able to have the right solutions and capabilities to really protect all of that. I mean, there is a new thought process around resilience as becoming the central point in thinking about cloud and cloud security for security operations. But I always try to come down to the foundational level and say, we have to be resilient, but the only way we're going to be resilient is if we're able to really protect and respond to threats that may come out of that type of technology.
Yeah, and I think the term that represents the challenge that Samir was mentioning is the shared responsibility concept. And basically, this is introducing a whole new challenge for us as defenders when we are sharing responsibility with third parties, vendors, cloud providers, infrastructure, SaaS, and so on. And sharing responsibility in defending our organizations. It means that as opposed to in the on-prem environments where eventually you were the master of your domain and were able to get access to or have the visibility that you needed to detect, respond, defend, detect, and respond to attacks. When you live in the cloud, you're sharing this responsibility with others. It means that the visibility that you have is limited unless you do certain things in advance. And I think visibility is the foundation of cybersecurity. In order to defend, to respond, to recover, you need to have visibility on what is going on in your environment. If you're sharing this responsibility with others, then the challenge increases in terms of having the right information to be able to identify gaps, to identify malicious activities, and to respond. This is a different way of doing business compared to what we were used to in the on-prem environments.
Right. And Ariel, I wholeheartedly agree with you. And if you think about the number of organizations that within a company that interact and also deliver capabilities, concept like shadow IT, right? We call it shadow IT, but IT is now distributed across various different organizations. You can have a marketing function that also interacts with the cloud to deliver marketing capabilities, and they may manage the solution themselves. How well do these functions understand architecture or zero trust architecture, configuration, all the identity management, managing the threat, ensuring all the security controls and policies are applied? It just compounds on the complexity of various groups who, through shared responsibility, also now have to act as engineering functions and IT function as well, and have that accountability distributed to them too. And I think that's where it becomes interesting when we think about it's not just the primary groups that manage the infrastructure, but there are all these other functions within the company that also will now have to contend with the fact that they need to understand the processes all the way down to what an engineer will have to do when operating the cloud, right? So it's security function, the security team, in the CISO organization in particular. Our need to make sure that all those various different groups understand security is becoming incredibly important.